Hello and welcome. I'm Charlotte Lynch.
And I'm Charlene Smith.
And this is
Premier League predictions for Matchday 5.
So let's dive straight in. Wolves versus Liverpool. What are your predictions?
Do you know what, Char? With Liverpool, they've got quite a few players that's missed training, the training prior to this fixture.
Score predictions, what are you thinking?
Do you know what? So this fixture, Wolves actually beat Liverpool 3-0 this time last season. I reckon Wolves can do it again.
Yeah.
With, so many players being out, key player like Trent Alexander-Arnold being out, Thiago being out, I reckon Wolves can really capitalise. Plus, it's at the Molineux Stadium as well. So I'm gonna go for 3-0 Wolves.
So if Liverpool's squad was all fit and healthy, those 6 players weren't injured, what would you think Liverpool would be winning?
Yeah, I reckon it would have been a completely different kettle of fish. Liverpool need to get back up there. They used to be competing with the likes of Man City.
Yeah.
And obviously last season was quite challenging for them, but they need to be getting back to where they were. So I reckon it'd be a completely different game.
I think I'm going to go for 2-1 Liverpool.
2-1 Liverpool. Yeah, you still got your faith in Liverpool to win.
Yeah. Okay. Fulham versus Luton.
Yes, Fulham v Luton. Obviously Luton have just been promoted to the Premier League. I'm expecting Fulham to get a good result in this fixture. They're at home, they're at Craven Cottage. So I reckon Fulham will do it over Luton.
They've also had the more experience of being in the Premier League last season.
Yeah.
They're going to know what to expect. But sometimes the underdogs take it,
Exactly, especially when you just come into the Premier League and you really feel like you've got to stamp your authority and you've got a point to prove. It can be a bit unpredictable, and it's normally them sides that you're not really expecting to win that go out there and get the result.
This is really, really hard. I'm going to say...
all right,
3-1.
3-1 to Fulham?
To Fulham, yeah.
All right, well, to let you know, Fulham are unbeaten in their last 5 league games against Luton, where they've won 3 and drawn 2, and they've won both home games in that run as well. And this is the first top flight meeting between the two sides since 1959 to 1960 campaign.
So it's going to be a great match.
It's going to be a really good match.
What are you thinking, Charlene?
I'm rooting for Fulham. I'm going 2-1 Fulham.
Okay, so Tottenham versus Sheffield. So we all know Tottenham won both their home and away match against Sheffield in the 2020/21 season. And then they're coming against them again with that confidence, with that knowledge, but obviously not being complacent. I mean, what do you think? Sure, you've got a lot to say about it.
Yeah, and obviously Tottenham now have a new manager as well as some new additions to the side. But they've also got, their main man, Harry Kane, who no longer plays for them. And I don't ever want to root for Tottenham, obviously being a Gooner.
Do you think they're going to feel that absence of Harry Kane? Like, he was the person they looked to, they played it to him, they were expecting him to be one of their goal scorers.
Their main talisman. Yeah. Do you know what? It's a bit of a tricky time for Tottenham because they've brought in Maddison, who is a great player, and he's already having a, impact in the side. So I actually feel like if Harry Kane was to stay, this season could have been quite an interesting season for Tottenham with the addition of Maddison. But I reckon in this fixture, it's at the Hotspur Stadium as well. As much as I don't want to say it and don't ever want to root for Tottenham to win, I reckon Tottenham will get a win in this one. Probably with a clean sheet as well. Who knows?
What will you think in terms of scores? I need numbers now.
Oh God, I really don't want to say this, but from a non-biased perspective, I'm going to go 2-0 for Tottenham.
Ooh, I'm going to go 2-0 as well.
Are you? Yeah. We're going for the same sort of
let's see what happens.
Prediction.
2-0.
Yes.
So West Ham versus Man City. Now, sadly, West Ham have lost their last 12 games against Man City. Man City got a great squad. And then drawn 3 games. I'm just going to call it now. I think Man City are going to win.
No question about it.
Yeah, I think they're going to win. I think, they've got Haaland at the top.
Exactly. Haaland.
They've got Haaland at the top. Like, he's just a goal scorer. Like, I wouldn't want to be defending against him. Don't know. Let me give I'll give myself some time to think about the score. What are you thinking?
Well, they've also got Pep Guardiola back as well, because remember he was out for his back surgery prior to the international break, so he's back. Although Man City's that team, whether or not Pep's on the sideline, they're going to go out there and put out a performance.
Yeah.
And I mean, last season just says it all, the treble, just everything that they just continue to do, going from strength to strength. Carl Walker's signed a new contract because there was questions about him, potentially leaving the club. Yeah. So that obviously brings that boost of, that enthusiasm into the team. Because I'd be a bit concerned if, we had a player like Carl Walker amongst the squad and, there's links for him to move. I'd be a bit on the edge. So I guess that just settles a bit of nerves. I reckon Man City's going to go out there and thrash West Ham. In a nice way.
I don't think West Ham are going to give them an easy ride, though.
No, they won't.
They're going to fight for this. Scores.
I've got my prediction. It is going to be at the London Stadium.
Yep.
Like you said, West Ham won't give them an easy ride.
No.
They've got some really good players. Great manager in David Moyes as well. I reckon it's going to be 3-1 City.
I think it will be 4-2.
To
Man City.
City, okay. Should be an interesting game. We're expecting some goals in this fixture.
Okay, Charlene. Man U versus Brighton.
Yes, Man U lost this exact fixture 2-1 last season on the opening weekend of the season as well. As we know, Jadon Sancho is training individually because of, that little incident that took place. So yeah, this will be quite an interesting fixture. Man U fans are quite vocal, as we know.
It's hard to call it. I'm finding this really difficult because there's so much talent, and I think it's going to be tight because both of them are really going to want it.
Exactly. And as we know as well, Brighton just continuously produce such good players. Regardless of who moves on to other clubs, there's still talent that comes through, and management is still able to utilise that talent as well. It is at Old Trafford, so Man U have that advantage. Yeah. Yep. I'm going for a 2-2 draw on this one. I think it's going to be quite an interesting match.
It's going to be tight. I'm going to say 2-1 Man U.
Okay, I'm going for a 2-2 draw.
Right, moving on. Aston Villa versus Crystal Palace.
Mm-hmm.
You've got some stats on that.
I do. So,
talk to us. Let us know.
Let you know what the stats are. So, Villa have lost just one of their 11 Premier League home games against Crystal Palace. And Palace have scored just 5 goals in 11 Premier League away games against Villa.
Okay.
And also, Palace have one win and 1 draw away from home so far this season. So this one is quite an interesting one.
I'm going to say 2-2. I think it's going to be a draw.
I was thinking a draw as well.
I don't even know if 2. I think 1-1.
That was the first prediction that came to my head.
1-1.
1-1 draw.
1-1.
Yes. There you go. That was a quick, easy decider.
Newcastle versus Brentford. Now, Brentford have only been beaten once across their last 11 games in the Premier League. Some good statistics there. What are you thinking? What are your thoughts on the match?
Do you know what? St James's Park is never an easy place to go to. Obviously now with Newcastle, playing in Champions League, some new additions to the side. I reckon it's going to be quite a tough fixture. Ivan Toney is now back training with the team, so that fills the team with a bit of confidence. But Brentford have Mbeumo. I don't know if I pronounced his name correctly, apologies. And he really stands out for me. I know I've mentioned his name a few times, but I really like him and he can score goals. He basically has been stepping up in Ivan Toney's absence. However, I feel like Newcastle could get a win. I'm not expecting a high-scoring game. They've got the home advantage.
Okay.
And they've had what? I've got some stats here actually as well. So with Newcastle, they've actually won 7 of their last 8 league games against Brentford.
Oh.
I'm actually expecting another win.
They're going to come into that game knowing that stat. That's going to give them some confidence. I'm going to go 2-1 to Newcastle.
2-1. I'm going to go, I think it's going to be a really tight one, and I think it will be a 1-0 win to Newcastle.
Let's see.
There you go.
Okay, moving on. Bournemouth versus Chelsea. So Bournemouth are at home. They got their home advantage. Thoughts again? I love hearing your thoughts. I'm just slapping it up.
Well, we know that Chelsea did actually do the Premier League double over Bournemouth last season. And it was quite a tough season for Chelsea last season. You know, out of their 16 Premier League games, they only managed to get, well, their last 16 Premier League games, they've only managed to get 2 wins.
Yeah.
This could be another opportunity for them to get some more points on the board. They have got, you know, a great addition as well, Jackson, who seems to be playing really well with Raheem Sterling. I'm expecting, for Chelsea to sort of be on the rise now, you know, picking things up. They've got a good manager as well. I'm expecting a Chelsea win in this one.
So am I. I'm expecting a Chelsea win. I'm going to go Chelsea 2, Bournemouth 0.
Oh, okay. I'm going 2-1 Chelsea.
Okay.
I'll give Bournemouth 1 goal.
Everton versus Arsenal. Now, Everton have won 4 of their last 5 home games against Arsenal. What are Arsenal's thoughts going to be coming into this match? What are Everton's thoughts going to be?
Well,
what are your thoughts? I'm sure you've got a lot to say about this. You're an Arsenal fan.
My thoughts are we need to be collecting points. Don't want to be dropping points to any side.
You need to be,
crucial.
but are you going to?
Well, do you know, there's a bit of a concern because our star boy Bukayo Saka seems to have an Achilles problem.
Is he definitely out of the squad, or will we find out at the weekend?
It doesn't look likely that he'll be amongst this team. So, yeah, but we have got other players that can step in. You know, we've got the likes of Reece Nelson, we've got Trossard. We have got a bit of rotation, so I'm not highly concerned. But, you know, Saka is Saka. He's our star player. He is the first name on the team sheet every single time. But, yeah, wishing him a well recovery. And I guess this has been a concern, you know, he's played so many minutes, you know, at club and international level. So I guess it's not highly surprising because there's moments where I'm like, we need to protect him a bit more, especially as he gets players, you know, doubling up on him because everyone knows how good he is, you know. However, coming into this fixture, Everton might feel like, you know, a bit of a confidence boost, you know, with that stat that you've just said. But we are Arsenal. We need to be collecting points.
So give me scores. What do you think it's going to be?
I'm always going to be rooting for my team, and I want to see us go out switched on, great performance, solid performance from the beginning all the way to that final whistle. We know we got that fighting attitude, and I reckon it'll be a 1-0 Arsenal win.
I think it's going to be 2-1 Arsenal win.
Oh, you're going for Arsenal as well.
I'm neutral.
I know you're neutral, and I like the way you stated that, sis. But I'm glad you're rooting for my team too.
And last but not least, we have Nottingham Forest versus Burnley. Now, this is the first meeting between the two sides since 2016, so it's been a while.
Yeah.
What do you think is going to happen?
Do you know, Burnley haven't actually got any points yet, you know, from all the Premier League games that they've played. So they're going to be wanting to get some points.
I think they're definitely going to want it. They're going to have that fire in them,
exactly.
that passion. Like, it's time for them to start getting the points now. So.
Exactly, and they've got such a great manager in Vincent Kompany, and that fight talk, we see it on the commercials all the time. We go out there and we beat what's in front of us, you know. I love those sorts of talks. You know, they're motivational talks, you know. And come on, he's coming from Man City.
Yeah.
But I reckon this has got a Burnley win written over it.
I'm going to say 1-0 Burnley.
Yeah, do you know what? I'm going to go 2-0 Burnley. I reckon they'll go out there and get that win.
Love the confidence.
Yes, likewise.
I've been Charlotte Lynch.
I'm Charlene Smith.
And this has been Premier League Predictions.
Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you guys subscribe and we'll be back again soon.
And also let us know your predictions in the comments below.
Yes, we love hearing from you. Bye for now.